Okay, what's going on, everyone? Swinging Bull here. Welcome, everyone on YouTube. Welcome, everyone in Discord. This stream, we're going to be going over Adobe earnings. So that's ticker symbol ADBE. And they're going to be announcing earnings at 4:05 p.m. Eastern. So about another 5 minutes. And just kind of zooming out on the intraday chart here. Did get a nice cup formed here. Obviously sold off after opening bell in anticipation to the earnings. And just looking at some of the key statistics on Adobe, got a PE ratio of 39. EPS very positive at 11.11. And looking at some other financials here, their debt to assets only 45%. So that's really good there. And income statement, their net income on the quarterly basis has increased quarter after quarter for the last 5 quarters. So really great company. And on the annual basis, 2022, they brought in 4.76 billion in net income and profit. So pretty good company, great financials, great fundamentals. Let's go back to the charts here and see if we get some action before the earnings actually get released. Mr. SLP's in the house. What's going on, brother?
Hey, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
What's going on? You ready for the earnings?
Yep, got about another 4 minutes here. So let's look at some of the past earnings. First of all, here's the heat map from today when Powell did his press conference, and also the data that came out at 2 p.m. with the interest rate decision. Basically, they held the rate steady, and they signaled for 3 rate cuts in 2024. So we'll see when those cuts actually happen. A lot of analysts are thinking, possibly the first one at the end of the first quarter. But you can see the price action on SPY when we got all that news today. SPY basically went from 464 all the way to 470 and pulled back a little bit. I am getting another bullish signal here on the 5-minute chart. So we'll see what happens on that for extended hours, after hours, and then pre-market, and then see what SPY does tomorrow. But getting a little bit of action on Adobe right now. Just had a little wick up here and then dropped right back down. So we'll see. Got about another 3 minutes.
On that live stream today on Lifetime, we were going over this is the bullish side of things. This is where we want to enter to the upside. It was like 464.26. If we're going to play above that, buy calls on SPY. And then under, I think it was like under 464.20 to play puts. That thing ripped, man. I was so surprised. It went up like 200-300% in the matter of like 30 minutes. It was insane. That was a huge move, and we really didn't get a pullback, a small little pullback, and then we're pushing to the end of the day. Something that we don't normally see on the meetings, right? Normally we see the reverse. Once he starts speaking, normally we see the reverse action, but we didn't see any of that today.
A lot of times that initial move ends up not being the real move, but today it definitely was the real move, so far. And SPY's looks like SPY's back above 470.
I was talking to one of our members, the Lifetime members, and we're talking about a firm because he said he stopped out of a firm just before it started ripping up to $43 or whatever. He was like in the red on calls, like it's a personal play, right? And then this was like some weeks ago before they just started ripping over the last couple of days, last couple of weeks. And I told him, I said, look, you may have lost that one play, but there's more money to be made. And I said, look, we can easily play a firm under 38. We can play more downside because once it sees a downtrend, it goes in that direction pretty smoothly, even uptrend or downtrend, because once it gets down there, it just starts selling off hardcore. Once it starts breaking out, it breaks up really good too. So I said below 38, or I told him above $41 to play it up to 43, retest that recent high. The thing hit $44 in like an hour from $38. It went up $5 since the Fed started bringing out that interest rate hike. It was insane.
Yeah, so they got a nice pump on that. So would you alert some calls or something?
I just gave him a scenario. So look,
Oh, okay.
once we get above $41, we buy calls and we buy them a couple weeks out, maybe a month out, try to maximize the profits, and then buy calls, play it up to retest that recent high of 43, I think it was. Or a breakdown of 38, we can play it down to 35 and 33. But that thing just ripped. After our lifetime stream, that thing ripped up like $4 or $5.
Very nice.
Insane,
So, yeah.
insane move.
Pretty decent play there on Affirm then. That's good stuff, man.
Look at those candles. Yeah, let's look at the earnings. Let me go to the
okay,
earnings.
Well, they're out now. Adobe's
all right.
Selling off here. So let's look at the chart.
It was a $32 move on earnings. I talked about it in our lifetime stream today, and I was actually leaning bearish on the stream. I said if I was to pick a direction, it would be to the downside. But Brother D has learned so much from you with the options and the different spreads. He gave me like a great option to play based on what you teach.
Very nice. Yeah, that's basically what I trade a lot is the spreads. So we got Adobe down over 5% right now. Looks pretty bearish, obviously. Big red candle on our chart here. So down almost 5%. So 623 down to 589 right now. And let's see if it keeps going. It's looking pretty bearish now. Could get a reversal here. We'll see. But it does look like it just wants to keep dropping. I mean, down 7% already. So as soon as those figures come in, let me see if I can find someone.
I can grab them. It actually came in at a reported 4.27, $4.27 on the EPS. There was a surprise beat by 3.1%.
Oh wow!
And we're dropping off here. So I'm going to get the actual figures and then put it in the comments section. Give me a second.
Sounds good. Appreciate that. So far, congrats to the Bears. We'll see if there's a turnaround or not. But looks like this very well could be bearish. We'll see here in the next 10 or 15 minutes.
Okay, let me put this down. All right, so Adobe earnings, revenue. So revenue came in at 5.05 billion. The estimated was 5.02 billion. So they beat the revenue on the fourth quarter. The EPS, they beat by 13 cents. And then the first quarter of 2024, the EPS of $4.35 to $4.40, and the estimated was $4.27. So everything seems really good, these numbers. I'm going to post it right now in our comments section.
Okay. Yeah, looks like maybe we'll get a reversal. I mean, the numbers look good. I guess it's going to boil down to forward guidance, right?
Well, I mean, they're saying that they see the first quarter to be better than expected. Look at that. The estimated was $4.27. I suppose we will find out the sales. Let's see what the guidance is for the sales.
Right. So they kind of gave a little bit of guidance data as far as what the Q1 of 2024 EPS, what they're expecting. So they adjust the guidance from 435 to 440. The estimate for the adjustment to guidance was 427. So they actually adjusted their forward guidance EPS for Q1 of 2024 up. So that's good so far. So I think it's going to be, like you say, the sales. What's the forward guidance on the sales? That's I think going to be important. But so far, kind of stalling out here. This is kind of what we like to see if it is going to try and reverse. Let me go ahead and draw a Fibonacci on this chart, and we can get some lines going, some levels here. So I just drew a simple Fibonacci, and we already got a 25% pullback because it whipped down to 565.68. So it's already whipped back up pretty quickly to 25%. Now it's above that. Coming up to the 38% level, it's around 589.75.
Here you go. Here's the revenue for the full year of 2024. The revenue, they come in at 21.3 billion to 21.5 versus the consensus of 21.73 billion. So it came in a little lower than
they
the
missed
consensus.
revenue. Yeah, they missed revenue. Oh wait, that's going to be the forward guidance for
full year.
2024. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so they basically what their forecast is for 2024 revenue is below what the consensus is. So that's not good. That's not good. And that's probably why we saw this initial move down here. It is trying to recover. We'll see what happens. So far, we did get a 25% retrace back up. We'll see if it can kind of hold there. If it loses this 25% level and comes back down, obviously, I think it'll probably make a new low for after hours. But if it can hold up here and start making its way back up, maybe we do see it reverse by tomorrow. We got the rest of the night after hours till 8 p.m. Eastern today, and then pre-market, and kind of see what happens when the bell rings. Okay, so getting some sellers stepping in here. Like I say, if that's coming back down to test this low of after hours, that's going to be a problem. That's going to be a problem for the bulls. But congrats if anyone was bearish. It looks like you're going to be okay so far. Obviously, anyone playing options, puts, you're going to have to wait until market opens tomorrow morning, regular session.
Honestly, I'm looking for a bounce, a hold of like 567. I would say, like I'm looking back on like the 4-hour chart. I'm looking back to like October time, and we had a pretty hard resistance there about 567, and then we pushed through it in November. So I would like, I mean, positively, I would like a pullback to that level. And then, well, it already did. If you think about it, what did we hit low of? We hit a low of 565 already.
565, 68, yeah.
So we did kind of bounce off that level on that wick. So if it holds 567, then that could be like a good play into tomorrow. Like we could maybe wake up tomorrow, pre-market, kind of put some levels out there, and then maybe trade that for the day, maybe on a reversal.
I mean, it's a solid company. Adobe really is a solid company. I was going over this earlier. I mean, PE ratio forecast at 39.18, pretty strong there. EPS at 11.11, and just looking at a quick glance at their financials. We can just zoom in on the quarterly here, but you can see the steady trend up on the net income. So that's fantastic. They're a very profitable company. Making over $1 billion every quarter. So that's a real solid company. And on the balance sheet, their debt to assets only 45%, Lee. So they're not over leveraged at all, and got a low debt to asset. We like to see this number below 100%. The lower the number, the better. That means they'll have a lot more assets than liabilities. So great debt to asset on the company. Good financials on their income statement. Just had a bird's eye view here, and solid company. So like you say, Lee, maybe it kind of trades a little sideways, and then maybe we start seeing it trend up tomorrow, and maybe we could do a little bounce play, tomorrow with some calls or something, because they beat EPS, they beat revenue. The only negative thing that I can see is their forward guidance for revenue for 2024 came in under the forecast. But
I was going to ask you if you had the fib retracement on there, and of course you do. So there is some good levels to watch there for sure.
Yep. Oh, it looks like we lost Lee. So yeah, like I said, we'll see if it kind of just bottoms out here. Maybe it slowly trends up for the rest of after hours, and maybe pre-market. And if we get a trend day on it tomorrow during the regular session, definitely we could play some calls on this, because now the IV will be coming back to reality after the IV was high before earnings. So We'll see what happens tomorrow and play the post reaction, if you will. Kind of see what happens. About 4:15 p.m. right now. Okay. Just want to check back in on a firm, or actually, let me go to SPY. Yep. So SPY's still trending up. It broke 470 this afternoon around 3 p.m. and fell back below it. But you can see on this 5-minute chart, it held this 20 MA pretty cleanly. Got a solid bounce off of that, and now it's back above 470 again. So good stuff there. Just want to pop a fib on this as well and see where it retraced. Yep, so basically got a pretty clean retracement to the 38% level on the fib, and then had a nice solid bounce off of there. And it's trying to make a new high of day, just off by a couple cents here. But we'll see if we get some continuation through this top fib line, or if it's gonna possibly get rejected like some sort of double top and maybe come back into the 460s again. So we shall see what happens.
We did. You hear me? We
Yep.
we did trade. I did alert the actual. Is that the EMA 20 or the MA 20?
MA 20.
Yeah, I did alert it off of that area. Just when we got that dip, I alerted it off the MA 20 on
Very
the
nice.
call side, and I mean, we got a lot of volatility in those contracts, right? But I mean, they moved so quickly today, and I mean, it went from like 110 on the contract to like 190 in a matter of like 20 minutes, and there wasn't that much movement, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so that's the premiums moving all crazy because of the Greeks and stuff like that. Yep. Not so much the price action, more the Greeks, right? So yeah, that's good stuff. That was a good call out there. Lee had SPY, went from 464 to 470. We got the pull back to the 38% on the fib, and then buyers started piling back into the trade to go long. And so Mr. SLP in the Discord alerted some afternoon calls here. Sounds like they hit pretty good. He was saying $1.10 on the contract, all the way to $1.90. So beautiful trade there for an afternoon trade after the Fed meeting. Okay, so Adobe trying to bottom out here, right around 580 basically. We got some wicks down to like 577. We got the bigger wick down to 565 and some change, but buyers stepped right back in, scooped that dip up, and now it's kind of stabilizing right now, just right above 580. I'd probably be looking for 580 to hold from here, possibly 579, probably 579. Probably look for that to hold. 580 is just more of a cleaner mental level, but look for 579 to 580 to hold from here, and then maybe this starts retracing back up this red candle here, and see if we can get 100% retracement. And then and a lot of times what we see when these stocks, they report earnings and they sell off, and the ones that we see that basically reverse and start going up, anytime it retraces 100%, a lot of times we'll see continuation after that, and then maybe we have a solid trend day tomorrow on Adobe. We could just buy some calls in the morning, and it trends up for the rest of the day. Got to give it a little bit of time for investors to digest all the earnings data, and then sometimes that initial move reverses, and once all the data is digested by the investors, and then we get a solid trend day the next day. So we'll see if that happens. And again, moving forward from here, I'd like to see 579 to 580 hold. If you want to be a little safer, maybe 578. Definitely want to see 578 hold from here. And better yet, if it can start making some higher lows, that's going to be a good sign as well. So kind of just flatline right now, though. Nothing really exciting. Most of the volatility as far as price action goes was this initial red candle which was basically right when they reported the earnings at 4:05 Eastern. About a minute afterwards, we got the big sell-off. Now it's just kind of flatlining, but again, it did wick down to 565.68, and you can see the size of that wick here. I can just take these fibs off, but you can see the size of that wick. So this was definitely a demand area in the 560s for Adobe, and had some people scoop that up. Now kind of just trading sideways. So I'll give it another couple minutes to see if it starts pumping. If not, it might just be a little boring. We'll see what happens for the remainder of after hours and pre-market, and maybe we get a trend day tomorrow out of it. And even if it trends down, I mean, if this doesn't hold, this 578 I'm talking about, and it trends down tomorrow, then we'll just play the puts. But probably just going to do obviously the post reaction to the earnings. I'll trade that tomorrow. Okay, about 4:20 p.m. Been about 15 minutes. Kind of just trading sideways right here. Same thing with SPY, kind of slowed down a little bit. Go to 1 minute on SPY, kind of just flatlining right now. Adobe very, very slightly made a higher high. I mean, just barely. Probably like 588 to 587. So 587 to 588 made a higher high by $1. You know, on a $400 to $500 stock, you know, $1 is really not that much of a move. You know, so I'm not going to put a lot of weight on this higher high, but technically it did make a higher high, and it's looking like it's trying to make a third one here. So basically be on the lookout for it to continue to make higher lows and higher highs. And what I was saying earlier, if it does slowly 100% retrace this red candle, the earnings candle, then I would be on the lookout tomorrow for a trending day. Could possibly just trend up for the rest of the day. That's what I would be looking for, and that's probably what I'll trade tomorrow. And then on the downside, if it stops making these higher lows and higher highs in extended hours, and it breaks below 578, could be looking at bearish bias going into tomorrow, and then I'll probably just do puts on the pullbacks on the little spikes. I'll just short the spikes. But I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. Looks like Adobe kind of stalled out. As of right now, it looks like the bears, you know, are happy. But again, still got about 3.5 more hours of after hours trading, and then of course pre-market. So again, just keep your eye on the price action. If it continues to make higher lows and higher highs, and we get 100% retrace of this sell-off, I'll probably be looking for calls to play the post reaction. And then if for whatever reason it stops making higher lows and higher highs, and it breaks below 578, I'll potentially be looking for some bearish plays on it tomorrow. Might be an easy play down into the 560s or something like that. But on that note, I'll go ahead and end the stream. Hope y'all enjoyed it. And there's a link in the YouTube description if you want to join our free group. And other than that, hope everyone enjoys themselves, and I'll talk to everybody later. Cheers.